This is Safar, a 1985 Saltram Saga built in Plymouth. She is my home. And this is me, a 32-year-old British guy who likes splicing, travelling, and sailing. Me and Safar sometimes don't get along.
Oh no, it's wet. It's not good.
But most of the time, we'll find some common ground. In this episode, I sail from Falmouth to Fowey. It's a shakedown sail, as I haven't been able to use this boat for a few months while I've been away with work. It's also the first time I've got to use a brand new mainsail. For today's passage, it's quite light, so I'm expecting just to drift my way there. So, still not a lot of wind, so we need a little bit more oomph, so we'll get the staysail out to increase our sail area. All of the sails are pretty much brand new, and they were made by an old friend of mine, sailmakers of Fowey. I had everything over-spec'd, so the brief I gave the sailmaker was that I wanted everything as heavy duty as possible for offshore sailing. Ultimately, I don't know how much offshore sailing I will do, but I figured if I get it made the way I want it now, then I won't need to buy another set of new sails later. All the sails have been made from Dimension Polyant, a Vectron cross-cut woven material with a low stretch insert to help with shape retention. Well, still no wind, so just cruising gently under tick over on the engine. Out of Falmouth, I'm debating whether I should just put the spinnaker up right now, just catch what little wind there is. I just don't want to have to put it up and then pull it straight back down again. The wind shifts as we come around the headlands, but maybe I'll give it another minute or two, and then we shall see. I waited a minute and decided to get the spinnaker up after all. Okay, so pretty much ready for a hoist. Everything's all looking good, everything's free to run. What little wind there is, as I sort of predicted, is starting to starting to disappear already, so okay, so that's the socks all the way up, and now it's just a case of calling it all clear. I'm just going to leave it up for the time being, stay in the sock, Hopefully the wind fills out a little bit in a minute and we can get it back out. In the meantime, we'll just use the engine, and that's where we're going. So here we go. We got a little bit of breeze again, so spinnaker's obviously away now, and we're flying our white sails. See, the weather's absolutely stunning today. Perfect day for it. This is us now, just cruising. I'll throw the drone up in a minute and try get some nice drone shots of the boat underway. But yeah, this is lovely. Pretty happy. Got a small super yacht over there on the distance. But if I'm being completely honest with you, I'd much rather be on this boat right now, that's for sure. It's all looking nice and tidy. I spent a lot of time and a fair amount of money, I guess, on equipping the boat the way that I want it. And I've got to be honest, it makes me pretty proud and makes me smile when I stand back and look at the boat, especially like today while I'm underway. I look back and I think, you know, I've done all this, I've rigged it the way I want, bought the boat I want, and life is good. Better tighten up that sail. Sailed from Falmouth today. We're at Falmouth Haven this morning and departed there, and then it was in here, Carrick Roads, where we tried to, well, there was just no wind, so we tried everything, spinnaker and whatnot, and then after about here the wind just started to fill in a bit, but more from a sort of easterly direction, and then now we're just under all our white sails, full white sails, so Yankee, staysail and main, and we're just sailing past Dobnan Point, and we're just keeping a bit of an eye out for the bellows. You can get a bit of turbulent water there, but it's all good. You also get a lot of fishing pots around here because of the depth change. It's quite a sharp depth change, so usually it's like a good fishing spot, I guess. So we're just keeping an eye out as we come past here, and the plan's going to be to head northeast up to Fowey, and then we're just going to take a visitor mooring, hopefully one of these ones around here. small update, but the wind dropped a little and it started to come round to abaft the beam. So as you can see, it's just aft of our beam now, and it's still pretty light. So I thought I'd get the spinnaker up. So there we have it. It's good because I guess we were sort of going about 3.2 knots roughly just before, and as you can see now, like, the speed's gone up a bit. So yeah, it's such a good sail. I'll take you forwards and you can have a look. So sort of just in a cruising mode at the moment. So we got it so it's just curling on the luff, but you know, we're not racing, so we're not playing it too much. Here's my little bowsprit. It's removable, so when I need to drop the anchor, obviously I need to pre-plan. And then the tack, at the moment, I just make off to here. But yeah, it's a pretty nice setup. And then right at the top you can see the snuffer, which makes flying it single-handed just a little bit easier. Well, I say a little bit, actually it's significantly easier. Several years ago I was sailing on a boat, a Moody 30 that I owned, and I was flying the spinnaker in these exact waters, and the boat had no auto helm. So whereas at the moment this little ram here is steering the boat for me to a set course, at the time I didn't have that on my previous boat. I just couldn't afford one, and I couldn't really leave the helm, but there was low wind, so I decided I'd get the spinnaker up. Once the kite was flying, I was straight back on the tiller steering the boat, and then the wind just started to increase and increase and increase until I was eventually screaming along, and I'll be honest, I was panicking a little because I didn't quite know how I was going to be able to leave the tiller and get forwards to drop the spinnaker all at the same time. I'd tried lashing the helm, and she was always trying to broach, or she just wouldn't steer a straight course. I mean, obviously I'm here today and nothing got broke at the time, so it all worked out just fine. But yeah, having an auto helm to steer the boat for me and a spinnaker snuffer to make dropping the spinnaker easy, it just takes the panic out of flying the kite single-handed. Back out, and I've dropped the staysail and obviously taken down the spinnaker. So sails roll down, and I'm just going to go pick up the mooring buoy.
Fingers crossed, it'll all go well.